All right, so this is the video a lot of you have been asking about. Here it is. So I don't know how many of you have seen the video where I did those Limelight hydrangea cuttings off. I did a bunch of them in these baskets from Dollar Tree. Today is the update video. So what I'm going to do is, I mean, you can see some of them are like pretty tall, and I'm not going to cut them back right now because I kind of have some plans for several of those that are like going straight up. I want to make, like, I don't know, I guess you'd call it a topiary, where you like make it a single stalk and then into like a ball. But anyhow, so I'm not going to cut them back. I'm going to choose which ones I cut back to go the bushy type. So anyhow, what I'm going to do first is this. I'm just going to dump one of these trays out here and let you see what we got. Oh, now I put something solid down here so I don't dump all this sand down in my potting soil down here. Got my label, Limelight hydrangeas. Basically just gonna dump them all the way, kind of upside down almost. Yep, upside down. That sand, I'm gonna try to put a bunch of them, try to see if I can get some of the sand back in here and get it out of the way, because that's a lot of sand. You can see there's a bunch of roots kind of intertwined in there, and I'll have to sort through. Okay, I got that much. Get it out of the way real quick. So let me see here. Of course, hopefully I didn't break them by dumping them upside down like that. And these have just been over there underneath the shade tree for, well, since last year. So let me just see what we got. So a couple of them didn't make it. I'll just try to set aside the ones that didn't make it. Break them apart, the ones that did and the ones that didn't. And that's to be expected. A lot of them, and I didn't, you know, I did these a kind of a different way, where I just stuck them in these trays. I stuck them inside trash bags and put them in kind of in the garage. We have like a lean-to there at the garage, so, and let them go that way. All right, so there we go. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. That's a nice little one. Nice little cutting. See how you can see how skinny the cutting was there, but it's got some good growth. Decent little set of roots. Some of that sand. Okay, so look at the good growth on that one. A lot of good growth, a lot of good roots all the way down. So I feel like that one kind of almost needs put up into a trade gallon size pot. I'm putting them over there on my pile of, I'm trying to keep a track of ones that didn't make it, so I'm setting those over there as I come across those. I need more room. Oh my goodness, that one didn't make it. There we go. Ooh, that one made it, but I might have broke it. I might have broke the main branch over there. Oh, yeah. So I probably broke it by flipping it over upside down. It's got decent roots. I'm going to take some pruners and just cut that broken part off to relieve the stress from the plant, and then that'll be a good cutting there. So all right, see, there's a nice looking little plant there. Another nice little one. It'll take these a little while to get going, but once you get them in the ground, boy, they'll just take off, growing really good. So getting pretty good. Now let's see. That one didn't make it. Oops. Yeah, there we go. I always kind of like to take a look at the size of the cutting and the shape of the cutting and see which ones did the best. And that was I don't see a cut top piece off of this one. It looks like it was the tip of the tip cutting. and that did really good. I like doing the tip cuttings, but that one's just a really nice plant. That's a wee little tiny one, but man, look at the good roots. Once I pot that up, that'll take off really good. And here's one that's just kind of a barely making it, but it's, you know, it's got some roots, it's got some new growth. We'll see how that one does. And those of you that don't know, when you're potting up, or when you're doing cuttings of plants, it's illegal to propagate certain varieties of plants, and Limelight Hydrangea was one of those. It had a patent on it, and by proven winners, and so they go and do all of the work to create these new varieties, and so they patent them, and then that's how they make their money, is because then they have to, if you want to propagate them, then you have to get a you have to pay the fee for each cutting you do or something. I'm not sure exactly how it goes, but this particular variety, the Limelight, went off of patent last year, so or the year before, I think, and so it's legal to propagate now, and it's always been a very popular variety. It's just beautiful, and so now that they're legal to propagate by just anybody, we're doing it. And of course, proven winners, now they've replaced, or they've, you know, they're constantly creating new varieties, so that the ones that people can propagate on their own, they won't see those in the store very much anymore. That's got some roots, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna maybe pot it up, but they'll eventually phase these out once they start. Once the market gets saturated by people like us who want to make plants on our own legally. So, but they've replaced it with what do they call it? The mini lime, or lime little something. It's a miniature Limelight. It's a smaller, more compact size. So yeah, they're constantly making new varieties, and that's awesome. But there's a lot of good varieties out there that are legal to propagate, because the patent, you know, runs out after 20 years. All right, so look at this. This was the cutting here. You can see the cutting there, and nothing sprouted from that. It sprouted from down here. I'm going to go ahead. This is how I would pot that up. I'm just going to cut that off there, and then that's your cutting, or that's going to be your plant right there. Another one didn't make it. Some of these I don't even know if were cuttings or if they're just stuff that have fallen from the trees. Boy, I don't even know for sure if no, that's a weed, I think. Here's one too. It's got good roots, and they look like healthy roots. There's still nothing growing, but that's, you know, it's just early in the spring, so it'll probably grow. Try to, you got two of them, and here's another little one. That's a nice little one. Another nice little one. There we go. Man, they're looking pretty good. Another one didn't make it. A lot of leaves and debris and stuff in there because it's just been out there underneath the shade tree, so a lot of just debris stuff. And worm, oh, a little baby worm. I'll put him over here in my raised bed. We'll have a nice place out there, in there to grow. I think that's pretty much all of the ones that made it. All right. Yep. That's all. Let me get this out of the way now. I'm going to pot them up appropriately to the whatever size they are. If, you know, the small ones like this will go in a small pot like that. That seems like an appropriate size. And so that's kind of how, and then I have, you know, like gallon trade size pots. I've got these that are about I don't know, quart and a half or something like that. But anyhow, I'll just choose whatever pot size for whatever plant. And so, and you see this one, kind of like that other one I did. See how it grew the sprout off of that, and then over here the cutting part didn't. So I'm going to just trim that off. It's unnecessary to be there now. Another thing I'm doing that's different, and it's only because I'm about out of potting soil, is I'm going to take, I went and gathered up and sifted out some compost, and so I got some good compost there. I'm going to put it in the bottom to make to take up some of the space, and that's got a lot of good nutrients, way more nutrients than this potting soil does. So that'll be like the fertilizer. I won't even really need to fertilize these because of that, because that's some powerful compost there. So there we go, first one. I'm gonna grab a tray to put them in. All right, let's see what we got here. I'm just gonna kind of pick them off the top of the pile that I've got there. And then there's the next one. That, man, that almost needs to be in a little bit bigger pot. Let me see how this looks in that. You know what? I think that'll be fine in that one. So let me go ahead and trim off that cutting. That was my handle. That's the node that it grew. You can see it grew the shoot from it, and it grew the roots from it. And that node, that was just my handle. That can be eliminated now. So let me get a little bit of compost. Yeah, in fact, you know what? Let me put that down in first, and then the compost around the roots. The reason I'm doing it like that, where I'm putting potting soil on top, is because this compost probably got some weed seeds that didn't get killed, so I don't want a bunch of weeds growing up from the top. So that's kind of the reason, part of the reason I'm doing it that way. Another nice little cutting. So again, kind of put the plant and that there and there. And potting soil to cover the top, cover them in case there's any weed seeds in there. And that's gonna be fertilized really nice down there. And I got a bug in my ear, and I got stuff, I can't really pick it out. I'm trying to shake my head to get it to go. And yeah, so that's pretty decent amount of roots, but I think I can get that in these here. Let me cut that handle off, cut that off, and then put that in there. Now this is probably one that I would clip off the top so that it will bush out. In fact, let me just, can you see that? Where are we at? Yeah, so you can see that. So this is kind of got a long growth here, kind of long and lanky. We can cut that off of there and it'll come out more bushy, and then that will just pitch. All right. Another nice little one there. Cut off that handle. This is why it's Brown Thumb Nursery, because I get my thumbs brown when I pack in these plants. In case you wondered, why is it Brown Thumb Nursery? Well, that's the reason. I'm always getting my thumbs brown. I was like, man, my thumbs aren't green. My thumbs are brown. So. And I know David the Good says may your thumbs always be green. But man, how are you going to get your thumbs green? I mean, picking your nose maybe? I don't know. How does David get his thumbs green? I don't know. All right, there's 10. I have to slide those. Maybe I can slide them over. Maybe not. All right, all looking pretty good. That's a pretty nice one there. Head's borderline. It probably could be potted up into the next size up, but they fit nicely together here in these trays. So I think I'm gonna kind of try to do as many in these as I can. Okay, now this one is gonna have to be in a bigger pot. Can you see it? See how big it is? Look at them roots. My goodness, that's some good roots right there. Wow. So I'm gonna go, let me look at one of these pots here. See how they look in the pot. I think that's gonna be good. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to cut some of this off. So let me go ahead and get it started here real quick. Right, beautiful. Oh, let me go ahead and let me put it to where you can see that. See how big that is? I mean, it would probably, these roots would probably support that amount of growth, but I think I'm going to go ahead and cut it back so that it can bush out. See how it's like crooked and all that? I'm going to cut it right above that node down there, and then maybe it'll sprout over here and get more of a wider thing. And you know what? This could probably be used as cutting. So I've been going to lay those things aside, over to the side there. Okay, so this one here, I want you to see how tiny this cutting was. This is the original cutting right here. This is in between my fingers. That was how tiny it was. And it's making a pretty good plant, isn't it? So just so we can kind of know what size cuttings to make. And it's all experimental. I mean, everything's by experience, right? So get out there, get some experience, and see what works good for you in the system that you're using. As long as you get good plants, that's the main thing. All right, that's all of them in that tray. So we ended up, I don't know if you can still see, but we ended up with 2 trays of 10 plus the big one and then 1 extra. So we ended up with 22 out of that tray. Now let's take a look at the ones that I got that didn't survive. I should stick these in a glass of water somewhere. In fact, I'm gonna go throw them in a bucket. Hold on. So let's count them. What we got? 1. Okay, so there was 26 there, but when I was bringing it in from outside, I was pulling like the dead leaves and debris and stuff off, and I think I pulled a few of the dead sticks too. So we'll say there's 30 or so, maybe 35 that didn't grow, and 22 that we got good plants on. So that's we'll say, what, we'll just average or estimate 40% success on that. Let's move on to the next basket. Okay, now this is that basket that's got all those big gnarly looking things. If you saw the video when I posted these, you'll remember this, because I kept kind of going on and on about how cool I thought it would be if they would grow and stuff. So I've tried not to dump them upside down as to not break them this time. So let me go ahead and just kind of try to peel these off from the here. I want to dump sand everywhere. I need to come up with a better system. So there's one that didn't grow. Here's one that did. This is kind of a gnarly looking mess. Okay, so look at this thing. Let me get that there out of there. Okay. Look at that thing. Look at that cutting that was. How that was. So it's growing good from all different directions there. You can see it shot out over here, shot out over here. And of course it was shooting out right there. Oh, that might be a weed. Pull that. But lots of good roots. Lots of good roots there. So I'm gonna set that back. Where should I set it? Back here maybe. Try to do better this time. Okay, so there's one that it did not grow. Another one. Looks like it's got some roots. Can you see that it had some roots? Right there, there's some roots there, but it didn't grow. It tried to grow. Several of them over here, a couple of them. And again, got a little root there. It was trying to grow, but didn't make it. Well, that feels like it might have something. Kind of knock some of this sand away. Okay, got mushrooms growing, or some kind of fungus growing on the side of them, but that one didn't grow. That's a good one there for sure. Uh-oh, dropping sand everywhere. Leaf. So yeah, that's definitely a good one there. Okay, so here's one that you see that it's kind of just growing off of this little side here, but it's growing. I mean, I almost think that'll make it. I think I might pot that one up. And then this one had some roots taken off, so it tried to, I don't know if you can see, it tried to grow, but it didn't make it. Another one, that one didn't make it. That one didn't make it. That one has some roots kind of coming off and stuff all around, but not enough to where it made it. It probably, so when I pulled them out of the garage and stuck them and just laid them over there in the just over there underneath that shade tree. That was probably quite a shock to them. So it probably, the ones that were trying to grow, that's probably when they stopped being able to grow, is my guess. I don't know for sure. So there's another one. Okay, so look at the cutting. See how the cutting, what that one was? Boy, that one did good. Look at all the roots on that. I mean, that just really did good. I mean, look how, see, I'll try to hold it sideways so you can see how much that one grew. And all of that growth, all of this growth all the way down here came off of this cutting right here. So this is all new growth since last year, since the thing. And then this is new growth. This here off of this branch is new growth this year. So that's a heck of a, that'll need to go up in a gallon size pot. See, now this cutting was almost identical to that one, you know, but it didn't grow. So, you know, who knows what's going to grow and what's not. You know, you just got to stick a bunch. Oh, here, look at this one. You see the roots on that one? It tried to grow. It just didn't make it. So this one here, you can see it's got lots of roots, and those are all healthy new roots. We've got a little bit of life there that's coming out right there. So that one's, I'm just going to probably, what? I don't know. Let me peel back and see if that's got green in it. No, there's no green under there. So I'm going to clip that back and just let this here be the new growth. So I'm going to clip this off right up there. That'll be plenty. Then this one here is kind of like that one. It's got pretty decent, not quite as good of roots, but this isn't, I believe, will make it as well. So I'm going to clip those things there off. They probably grew off of that last year and then just didn't come back this year. But with them roots, I believe that'll still make a plant. All right, so there's one. Look at that nice plant. That's got a lot of nice new growth coming on. And it's all off of one shoot, off of that node there. But lots of good roots, so that's a good one there. Trying to loosen them roots so that, there we go. Man, look at that one. Wow. Look at those roots. And that is one shoot, one straight shoot right up the middle. And it's a nice tall, so now this, all right. So I was talking to you about, I wanting to make some tree type that, years ago I've seen these done where they make them, you know, up so far and then they just let it grow out there. So probably go up about 4, let it grow straight up. I probably put a bamboo cane or something to straighten out. I don't know if you can see how crooked that is. See how that's crooked? So I'll probably put it in like a gallon pot and then kind of straighten it up until it, and then take off all of these things down below. I would take off, and but I'm not going to take it off now because I'm going to save that, let it grow until about June. Oh, I got a bug there. Dirt maybe. I don't know. Anyhow, so I'll let that grow and then I'll take cuttings of that off of that and just let the growth come up off the top. So that's going to be one of my, I don't know, I'm going to call it a topiary. I think that's the wrong term for actually, but it's just, I'm just going to make it like a tree, a single shoot tree. So every time shoots start coming up from the bottom, I'll have to cut them away. And of course, I'll cut these little stumps away too. In fact, I can probably do that now. Cut them down kind of low. And then those will be like right at ground level, right where the roots are. So those will never show. But I'm excited about that. I've got several out there. I forget how many baskets. I think I counted in the beginning of the video how many baskets I did have out there. But I've got several that's going to be nice like that. So let me set this one. I'm going to set that one kind of aside over here. See what else we got. Man, that's a beautiful thing. And that was just, okay, so here, right here, was the original cutting. And then it shot, last year, it shot off this growth. And look how it's kind of curly. You know, it probably did that because it was so bunched in there with all of its neighbors. So, oh, I broke a little branch, but that's okay. We'll toss that aside. It'll be all right. Okay, so there's one that didn't make it. Just a regular old stick. And then here's one that was kind of a big, thick, gnarly thing, and it you can see that it shot up new growth last year. This was from last year's growth, but I have a feeling that's not alive. No, it's not green there. You see it scraping it. It's not green. Let me go down a little bit further. See what we got. It's nothing there. Yeah, nothing all the way down. So I'm gonna go ahead and clip that off because that's dead. So I'll just clip it all the way down to there. Oh, what happened? Oh, yeah. So there we go. Nice. Now this one, I don't think I could bury that all the way down under the ground and make that one of those topiaries too. I mean, I might be able to. I don't know, I might. I think I'll set it with this other one too, just in case. Really good roots on that. And then same there. We got like this from last year's growth. It's dead, I'm pretty sure. And this one over here, no life there either. So probably should just cut those off. Cut that off. Cut that off. I'm going to cut that off too because that's kind of deadish up there. In fact, what I should do is cut this off all the way down and let it branch it out from the bottom. I probably will do that. But I think I'll wait until, well, you know what, I'm going to do that. Should I do it? Yep, I'm going to do that right there. So I'll pot that one up like that. And then this year I'm going to go stick this in that bucket of water because I might stick some cuttings out of that. All right, another one that didn't make it. Several here. Several didn't make it. Whoops. Need someplace. I'm going to put them there. Needed something to put all my dead ones in so I can count them. There's a nice little, just a little, look how tiny that cutting was. Just a little skinny little stick, but it's got good roots, so that's all that matters. Boy, there's barely one, but you can see it's trying to grow, so that's good. All right, that's a nice one there. Look at that. See that? That we had one growth that came off of that node there, off of this stick. And you can see it. Almost feels like I could break that off. Let me see if I can do that. Yep. Came right off of that there. See, can you see where that was coming off of that node right there? That was where it was growing. So now I don't have that. I don't even have that clunky thing there now. Well, I'm not going to put that with my didn't make it because that one did make it. I'll toss that in the compost. Don't want to count that as a non-success because that's a nice one there. That's a really nice cutting there. So put that one there. Another nice one. I mean, just a little one, but this was the cutting. Kind of a crazy, gnarly thing. And I'm going to cut that off as well. I'll end up cutting them all. Oh no, I broke it, but that's okay. Broke it right off of the thing, and it's got its own roots, so we're good. So I think that one might have, nope, that's the cutting. Okay, so that one didn't make it. Toss that over there. Look at the cutting that was. That was this little cutting here, and then it shot off the growth here, and all of that growth came last year, and then it's just now branching out. So you can see last year's growth, and then look at the really green stuff here. That's this year's growth. So that's how you can tell the difference. So like this here, that's dead. Cut that off right there, and cut that off up there. I probably should cut it off down here, but for now I'll just leave it. All right, gather up the ones that didn't make it. All right, let's see how many we can get potted up here. See what we got. And the different sizes we got. This will definitely have to go into a gallon size pot, so trade size gallon pot. All right, so that looks pretty good in a gallon. Oh, I didn't show you. I guess I needed to aim you down, but yeah, pretty decent one there. Set that. I don't know where I'm going to set all these things here. All right. There we go. That's a pretty decent one, but I think I can fit that in one of them smaller pots. So let's do one of these. Oh, you're still not looking. Come on, get it. Look down here. Yeah. Oh man, stuff them roots in there. Now, my buddy Matt, my cousin Matt, he would cut half them roots off, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm scared, I guess. I know it stimulates growth, and there's some good to be said for it. But I'm just a scaredy cat, I guess. I don't know. We've worked so hard to get these things to grow roots. I hate to cut them off. I'm gonna cut that little stick there that was my handle when I did the cuttings. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off because it's just dead now. Stick that in there. Oops, I don't need all that. Yeah, I'm gonna put potting soil on top just like I did them other ones. In fact, I'm gonna knock a little bit more of that off. There we go. You watching? You're not watching. Come on, look. All right, I got everything cluttered up here. Got to find some place to put everything. Man, oh man. Man, look at that one, would you? That's gonna have to go into a gallon size pot. That's gonna make a nice plant there for sure. Oh, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. I'm gonna have to put something to put those bigger ones in. Oh man, that is just a beautiful. I think I might be able to use that one as one of those topiaries as well. So I'm going to cut these extra branches off there. They're just dead now. And then I'm going to plant that to where that's like right there. So look at this here. See how this grew here, and then this branch here. This is a branch off of a branch, and it reached down and put down this whole section of roots here. I almost feel like I could take and cut this section off and plant it separately. In fact, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let me go ahead. I'm going to cut it off down here, because just totally detach it from that. And then let's look at what we got. So then I don't need any of this. I don't need any of this, but I've got a plant right here with its own roots. So that's gonna be kind of cool. That was off of one cutting, 2 of them off of one cutting. All right, that is it on those. Let's get them counted up here. See how many we got. So in the smaller ones, we got 7 in this. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 8 of the big ones. So a total of 15 then, between the big ones and the little ones. So let's count how many of the ones that didn't make it here real quick. 1, 2, 3. So about 38 of them that did not make it, 15 that did. Yeah, so that seems to be about 40%, again, about 40% success. So, I mean, I was hoping for better, but that's, I mean, you can't complain with that many good plants out of that, out of just an old bunch of free cuttings, right? So anyhow, I've got, man, what, 6 or 7 more trays out there. This video is already getting pretty long. I'm gonna go ahead and let this be the end of the video. Let this be the update, because, man, I know I'm trying to do better about making my videos shorter. So anyhow, make sure you get out there and get your thumbs brown, propagate something, pot something up, plant some seeds, play in the dirt, whatever. Have some fun outside. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I will catch you on the south side. God bless. So here's the rest of the trays I've got. I got 6 more trays of them to do yet. I'll get to those when I get a chance. I'm gonna have to get some more potting soil, but that's the rest of them. And so over here is the ones I've got potted up. Over here, over to there, and then another 30 of them right there.